I did it.
Great.
Yeah, that would be the title. And you know what the sentence would be? Like, see, my dream has always been to walk out of a Maybach and buy a Forbes magazine with my picture on it.
This is youth, the young generation who are ready to make a dent in the universe. This is the young generation who will become the next Elon Musk. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Clarity podcast. This is yet another amazing journey of career transformation from businesses to businesses, products to products, and from employee to employer. He is Rupesh Malpani. He is the youngest guest on my podcast. He is just 25 years of age, who is working from last 9 years, who is a dropout from college, who is a tech junkie, who runs 2 companies, PikkC and tobrand.biz. I was blown away by the clarity he is having regarding money, business, regarding the future of technology, regarding the human connection between businesses. I was so charged after recording this podcast. The vibes, the energy, the confidence is worth witnessing. So, without further ado, let's jump straight into the conversation. Hello everyone, this is Rakesh, your coach, author, speaker, and career transformation expert. Welcome to my podcast, Let's Talk Clarity. Let's Talk Clarity, in which we discuss about career transformation, productivity, and life fulfillment. Let's start the episode and talk clarity. So, Rupesh, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on, Rakeshji. I work to brand my and your biz, which is going to be PikkC in a way, you know. And this was just a sly way of me saying I'm kind of trying to build 2 companies, which is one of them is to brand your biz and one of them is PikkC.
Okay. So what these both of companies do, you can briefly share. Yeah.
Essentially, what we do is we help businesses and individuals with digital marketing. We make some money there and we spend that money at PikkC doing experiments in software and tech. That's essentially all we do.
So experimentation with software means I didn't understand.
We are trying to build an AI company. So like all the softwares, the software we want to build, how it should be built, what things are necessary, then the data collection which is to be done, and whatnot, what to base the use case of the AI on, what to base the user experience of the user on, then what will that AI essentially do, and all that. That process is fun and it's fascinating to me. I also have a podcast on this, which is around artificial intelligence. It's called AI Remix. It's a video podcast on YouTube.
Okay, great. And so Rupesh, means when I introduced you, you did so many jobs in the last 9-10 years and you are just 25. So what is driving you to this so many careers, and what is pushing you to change career after career?
Yeah, I'm not changing career after career. I'm trying to build one career as a business builder. To be that one good business builder, you got to try different types of businesses. It is essentially just that.
Okay. What is pushing you to change from aquarium and then from t-shirts, then computers, and then meetup muffin? And means what is pushing you to do this?
Curiosity, honestly. See, it fascinates me why we buy things and whatever things we buy. So if we are on the other side of from where we buy things, we might get a perspective on why we buy those things or why we try to sell those things. That's why, like, it has always fascinated me on what and how a decision making is different. To spend, let's say, 1,000 rupees on 3 different types of products from 3 different places. Like, you buy a small table for 1,000 rupees. You buy a piece of clothing for 1,000 rupees. You can buy a fish tank for 1,000 rupees, right? So why and how we decide to spend that 1,000 rupees, that point kind of always fascinates me.
Great. So you started when you were in school and then in college, and so can you briefly tell us what's your journey from school, then job, and then
Okay, there's two parallel journeys. One is the official journey, which is good. And then there's that one unofficial journey, which I've kept kind of personal to myself and I've worked on it. The official journey being the general school, going to tuitions and whatnot, and all that. I dropped out of that race in my BBA. I'm 12th pass like that.
Okay.
And I only have a graduate diploma in business administration because the college guys just handed it to me after when I dropped out of my BBA. But parallelly, while all of that was happening, my first job, which I've never told about this job to anyone, was at a grocery store. So this was around the time when my grandpa, my mother's uncle, had passed away and he had a grocery store. So my uncle took over that shop and all of us cousins were there on 10 rupees a day. Like our salary was 10 rupees a day. That was my first job. That was around 7th, 8th standard, I guess. Right. And then seeing so many different type of people coming to that store. Grocery store has people coming, like you see people who walk there. There are people who cycle there. There are people who superbike there. There are people who come in Mercedes. There are people who come in bus also there. Right. So that was kind of a trigger to wanting to learn how we spend money on what. Because I made 20 rupees in 2 days from that job. I still have that 110 rupee note out of the two, and I spent the other 10 rupee note. I don't know how I did that. And then after that, my side hustle was selling bookmarks, then was selling computers. While all these three things were happening, there were parallels on trying to sell saris, SIM cards, food items, medical equipments, because those are family businesses. And then I guess college happened. And then I got into solar rooftop installation for electricity. So electricity generation, we put those solar panels. I got into that. I had an online e-commerce store on which we flipped a lot of t-shirts, all those graphic printed t-shirts. Then there was a meetups application called Muffin I worked with. Then there's this lead generation company. Then there's a furniture company, then there's an aquarium store, then there's a coupon agency, a ad agency, a marketing agency. And then all of that triggered me to start my own marketing agency and a software company, because before I got my first job selling computers, I used to program. And programming is the ability to create things from scratch is always fascinated me. And I'm here trying to do marketing from things I've learned and trying to learn new things, programming weird things and new products.
Wow, that's such an amazing journey. And at such a young age, you have done many things, from marketing, from selling, everything from saris to SIM card to so many things. What are top 3 highs of this journey?
The biggest high let's go rank 3. Rank 3 was the first salary which I used to pay my first rent. And that was fascinating. Sala abhi pocket money nahi lena padega. Yes.
Yes.
Felt good. That was one high. Second high, I would say, was going on foreign trip, starting to networking across the globe, where I have started to travel from over resources I've collected by working hard. That was another high, because then it felt real, It wasn't just trying to negotiate with mummy papa ki mere ko idhar jana hai, ye karna hai, wo karna hai. But then also planning all those things and actually spending for them. Oh, dang, it's a hassle.
Oh, wow.
That was the second high. And the upmost thing, which is always going to be there, is I get to meet so many fascinating people across the journey, like having conversations with a tapariwala to a sophisticated company executive also, and I'm blessed to be able to hold a conversation with everyone, I guess. So yeah, that's it. That's my high. That's the top high. I get to meet new people. I get to learn from them. And the curious nut head that is me gets it gets a lot of times to say where, hey, this is fascinating. What is this? Let's go find out.
So that was such an amazing journey when we meet in Vietnam, and we discussed so many things, and the retreat and the activities. We got to know each other, and you are my angel at that point.
I was just an angel, yes. So guys, we had this activity. So we were a group of 10-15 people who were traveling together on a brain vacation. I'm sure Rakesh ji said about that before. There we all had to pick up chits, and then we had to kind of do something nice for the guy whose name comes in that chit. So you're a secret angel to the guy whose name pops out of the chit. So like we are out of those three weird nuts where who drew their own name out, and then again we had to drop that chit and get the chit to get another angel. It was fun.
Great. How you got so much clarity about life, about business, and about all these things, about money? So what could be the one reason that means from there you got so much clarity?
See, I've always had a knack for math, and facts are facts. When it comes for money, everything is accountable. There's no doubting on what we learn when it comes to all these number game. But like keeping that part aside, see that we follow a set rule of things we do, and that's sorted, because other 7 billion people are also trying to do that. So there'll always be someone trying to help you with that at least. The other things, I've just been blessed and lucky to have people who have had exposure in life. Like, see, as humans, what do? We got to learn something. There's only 3 ways to learn. Generally, go ask someone else, go try to figure it out ourselves, or go read something about it. And then doing all these 3 things, we eventually pin down to trying something. But now we have a cheat sheet to it. At least our generation does. We Google it before anything else. Like we spoke about this even when we are in Vietnam, There's a gazillion things to learn from, but we don't know what applies to us. And that we can only learn by seeing what other people learn for themselves. So like I can see some other human living his life and trying to understand why that guy does that for himself. Then I kind of might figure out what I have to do for myself. That's our general notion on the thought, right? Like that's how we learn from elders. Like if you keep the construct of your relatives aside and just entities, that is like, I'm a human, there's another human who's older than me, there's another human who's younger than me. If you think from that aspect, then there's always observation and things to learn. And I've just been blessed to be around good people who have corrected me when I've messed up on things, kind of been tough on me whenever it was necessary, exercising or assuming that authority they have on me based on our relation all the time, whoever it is. It has been close friends, it has been family members. And then like, see, there's so many things happening. And like for us, the world is not just the city we live in. For us, the world is the world, and we have to start navigating that world from where we live. Because the people older than us have done a damn good job connecting it. Like they got from a point where if we go 100 years back, there are no phones. People had to communicate, they had to travel or send someone to travel or send some animal to travel and whatnot. We did not know worlds existed. We did not know a lot of the countries we live and share the planet with did not exist. And today we are all connected literally on a digital level where we can have a digital globe and zoom into people's houses and see how their houses look. From a point 100 years back in history where we did not know there's this one whole different country which could exist. We are still trying to master glasses or utensils which have existed for 5,000 years as tools, as humans, Yeah. The communication barriers which have spark plugged the world in such a way we all have to move fast. That's what I think.
Yeah, we have to push ourselves and to be with the world. And
see, that's also a choice. You want to go live in a mountain, live.
So how this means the love for technology started for you?
I've had an email since UKG and first standard. So like
UKG.
Yeah, UKG and first. I have used a 286, a 386. I have used devices which weren't even Windows.
Okay.
It is just second nature to me. Now it is second nature to me. They say, right, we guys love our toys and tools.
So what you are thinking that you have been exposed to technology at the very young age.
You put a curious nuthead in front of things which are fascinating. This is what is going to happen. That's what I think.
Great.
Like we are at a point where we are touching things in air now. Like there's this one digital image which is floating in air and we want to interact with that. Come on, isn't that fascinating? I like those fascinating things and I can see myself bettering them. Or like wo bolte hain, I have always had that eye for giving a feedback wherever it has been necessary because I've seen all the people older than me do that and it has worked to wonders. So why not?
Got it. Yes, great. So let's take the discussion forward and let's discuss the moment you decided that now from today I will start my own company. How that has happened and what was the trigger points?
We go back to tech connector days when I used to work that late night job doing stupid shit and trying to get calls and never get on calls.
Okay.
It was just a sheer waste of time trying to dial numbers on which you're never going to find people. What we do, we know we give those numbers which we're never going to pick up in all those lists and there's people dialing those lists and trying to make a living on it. There's nothing bad about it, but I didn't want to do it.
Okay.
And then there's this one day my dad calls me and he scolds me for all my bad habits. I'm like, dude, I got to do something about it. And then I got so angry that day, but I knew there's no point in getting angry. So I opened my diary and then I was like, chalo, if I were to start a business today, what would it be? And there's not just one thing I want to accomplish with that business, that is money. I want to accomplish a lot of other things and I sell a lot of other messages. There's a lot of multiple things. Business is a resource which can be utilized for multiple things. So it pinned down to a point where I business modeled the whole PIKK ecosystem I was talking about. The IoT ecosystem around tapris and softwares and whatnot. All of that, 2 hours of work, 10 pages of writing, and I had a business model.
Okay.
I had all 99 steps in front of me in 2.5, 3 hours. But then when you start taking step one, you realize all the 98 steps I use this. So like this was around 2019. The start
just
of
before
2019.
COVID. Yeah, just before
Yeah,
COVID.
September of 2019, where I wanted to start working on PIKK. But I had to get other jobs to keep myself afloat, No, 2018. 18 was the idea time. But then after that, I worked at the furniture store. I worked at the aquarium shop. Then I worked at an ad agency. And then what happened at that ad agency was like I was the chief marketing officer and there's the CEO. We both had a very big fight over what to do next. And that fight resulted in either him stepping down or me quitting. But then COVID happened. Luckily, we both didn't have to do either. The company only went to shit. Sorry, but yeah, that's what happened. And in that time, I ended up starting a podcast. And then I've always kept a mind on how to start this idea because the whole 99 steps said I need like 200 crores to start this plan. Abhi 200 crores to bhai, mere paas to hai nahi. So we had to start it somewhere.
Yeah.
And then it started with a podcast. So the thought process there was, I want to work in AI, IoT and big tech. So let's start talking to people there. Let's connect to people there over social media. Then I came across a lot of people from which the podcast happened. From the podcast, I got my angel investor to whom I told this idea and he is like, start executing, Rupesh. This is your first check. Let's go. Let's try this out. And then we are here where our company is bootstrapped. We don't have a single penny of loan on our company from anyone. We broke even 2 years back. Like in a year only, we broke even the $8,000 we had raised. We are profitable to a point now. From that $8,000 next year, I can send my investor a dividend of that much. And we haven't raised any outside funds, but we are serving customers and we are building a business which is based on facts. than just assumptions and hypothetical plans which never work because we don't have experience executing them.
What a journey you had.
It just began, to be honest. All the fun things I left. I can imagine my life flipping apart differently the day I get a jet. And it will take time. But yeah, I'll get there. We'll get there someday.
So how you process your ideas, because I can see there are a lot of ideas going on into your head, and so how you process those ideas, and what is there any framework you do? You write on an
the pile on top is notebooks.
Yeah, I can.
They're all written by me.
So you write your ideas on a piece of paper, and that's when they will go out of your head, and then
see, there's two things to do, right? Our brain works on action reaction. We have a thought. If we have some action, there's going to be some reaction to it. If the action is only a thought, it is only going to be an infinite loop of thoughts, and it will lead to procrastination or whatever it is. But if you take one step towards whatever your idea is, it just feels like a domino effect to me, like the curious nut brain is like, abhi ye iske baad kya, iske baad kya, iske baad kya. It becomes a never ending cycle then. But in a good way.
Okay. So how you keep your mind calm and composed, because there are a lot of ideas and there are a lot of things to do. So do you do some exercise, some meditation or something? So what do you do for keeping calm this mind?
Okay, there's a lot of bad things I do. Let's not talk about those, but I prefer gaming. Like, see, I like to get something. See, when our mind is in 1,000 things of chaos, put some chaos which you like in front of it. It'll organize all those 1,000 things from that one chaos which you like, and you can navigate through that. That's what I think, I guess. What I do is I open Scrabble, I just get cards, I play a game on my computer, something, which the things I like to do, and I like to game. Like, I'm a game head. Like, I play board games with you. I try to play anything, video games,
playing cards, playing cards.
Yes. I don't even have a card subscription. You know that.
Okay. So this is interesting that so meditation is all about doing one thing and don't thinking about anything else. So in gaming, what you do, you are playing a game and you are not thinking about anything else. So that's
just the game.
Yeah, it's your way of meditation now.
Honestly, for me, I have kept my meditation as doing the chores of my house, like झाड़ू मारो, पोछा मारो, ये साफ करो, ये सब मेरे लिए meditation है, genuinely. See, the whole point of me sitting, keeping our head calm and not thinking about things, I just find that a little useless because I can do 2-3 things in that same time. That's my perspective to it. It doesn't have to be like that for others. I'm just a hyperactive knucklehead, that's why. So that's why, like, I find my peace in chaos. So whenever there's nothing and if my mind is blank, that is the time. They say, right, empty minds is a devil's workshop. But what do you do if you're the devil? What to do?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So Rupesh, let's discuss how you manage your time. Means what is your schedule and how you process? Do you use Google Calendar or any other app? Or because there's a lot to do and we are just having 24 hours in a day. Yeah.
Okay, so I decide out of the list of things I got to do, there is a thing which I'm going to have to do first.
Yes.
Like ये करने के बिना ये नहीं होगा, इसके बाद ये नहीं होगा, उसका पैटर्न का फर्स्ट पॉइंट ढूंढो क्या है पहले. Then start doing that, and then that kind of paves the way. Or wherever you start, just keep going ahead and then take 2 steps back also if necessary. That's my way to look at it. But I use all the calendars. I have Microsoft Calendar, I have Calendly, I have all the apps. Like, how do I say this? I'm on every platform there can be, which is generally used on a general sense. But that's not the point. The point is, see, it is through communication. But I have Rudy who helps me manage everything. That's my who keeps me up to date about things, and I don't miss and forget on things. That's how I manage it. But yes, it is a bunch of all of that woof in the brain, and it just happens.
You have been working for so many companies, and then now you are working in your own company. So what has changed from working in a company to now having your own business? So what is the difference?
People say life gets easier after starting a company. It doesn't. I'm so sorry, guys. That's a misconception. Go work 9 to 5, come home, get your money, leave. That's easy.
That's easy. Yes.
But when you have to worry about if that 9 to 5 stops for 10 people, that becomes a problem, my friend.
Yes.
It was like signing up for hell, you know.
So in my last podcast, she is my mentor also, Bharti. She also told that if you are starting any company or a startup, sign up for the discomfort and sign up for the awesomeness of this journey. Yes.
Because there'll be some things which would kind of be discomforting, but there'll be some things which are so fascinating, you just forget about the discomforts. Like, think about it. The moment when you're having a chai, let's just say you're having a chai in rain, do you think you're feeling cold? No, right? That's a discomfort. बारिश की ठंडी नहीं लगती है, but चाय पसंद आता है तभी. It's like that, you know. That's what I'd like to say.
Great. So how you have learned your communication? Means this podcast will be listened to many students from school, college, and so how you developed your communication? So let's
talk to people, mess up talking to them, make mistakes while talking to them, make a fool out of myself while talking to them 100 times over and over and over, and then you get here.
Wow. That's such a powerful thing. And you have told that everything comes down to practice.
It does come down to practice.
Everything. Anything in this world, you do it for one time, then 50 times and 100 times, and you are there. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like COVID, to try something out once or twice and thrice and doing that for so many redundant cycles of our life.
Mm-hmm.
They're two different ball games. Hats off to people who are older than me. All of them.
Great. So Rupesh, let's discuss about what was your top 3 learnings from the time when you are working for someone else.
Okay, don't think of your job as a job. Think of your job as a business in which you are trading your time.
Wow.
Because till the time you get to a point you can trade something else, we need to skill up, and in those skills only we can trade our time. And like getting paid, let's say 10,000 rupees a month, but also learning something new. साला इधर कॉलेज में अपन इतने पैसे खर्चा करते कुछ सीखने के लिए, but to learn something new here we are getting paid, but we don't take that opportunity because it pays us less sometimes, you know.
Great.
And then it's like you're getting paid to learn something from an expert, not just someone who's reading the thing you can read yourself. I sometimes sound very rude and very narcissistic on these things, but yeah, it is how it is.
So here, I remember one story from MBA Chaiwala, Praful Billore. You might be knowing him. So what he used to do is he used to work in MACD, and he used to be waiter, then at the counter also for 3-4 months, maybe, or 6 months. And then what he was telling that he was learning the business, and till date he has not taken the salary from MACD. The check is still there. He was going for 6 months. He was just going to learn the art and craft of the business.
McDonald's is a food manufacturing factory put in a restaurant. Like, if you see, that's how organized McDonald's is. That's why you have the same crispy fries everywhere in the world you go. Right, like, isn't it?
Great. So Rupesh, let's have some quick questions. And so what brings you fulfillment?
Getting to do weird things and learning weird things from that, maybe. No, but honestly, okay, this was very vague.
Yeah.
It's more like, see, there's very few things which fascinate me now and that's something I blame to spend 20 hours on a computer reading through everything and whatnot. That's why it fascinates me less. But whenever any practical thing fascinates me over what I've read, that delta is miles away. So, like, practically, when we experience something we have read, the excitement which we think we would have, and when we practically experience something, that excitement that time is 10 times more. And that is fun. And that is what drives me, like, see, it is always going to be a mystery to me why I am the way I am. I want it to be a mystery, right? Like, see, those are things we got to figure out when we are dying, apparently, I guess.
So here I want to share that I coach people and they come to me and then they ask that I don't know what is my calling and what business I will do and what is my strength and like that. So I told them, if you know where you will end up at the age of 60 or 65, you will be doing that. Yeah, you will definitely be doing that. If you know, but it is the vagueness of this journey which brings the joy to our life.
Exactly, right? Like, who could have imagined we would run across people from local Vietnam and we could go to their place and have a meal at their place? That wouldn't have happened ever if we had thought about it ever.
Yes.
Like, if you think about it, that is just one experience. There's a gazillion different experiences we can talk about like that. And that journey is fun.
Yes. So that's the fun part. Means the vagueness of life is make it more fun, and it is like life is like going in a foggy road. Means the road ahead is foggy, and you are not able to see after 100 meters it is left or right, it is straight. But once you start walking, you will see another 100 meters, and then you will see another 100 meters. And that's the way life it is.
Okay, same story, guys, for the listeners, okay? So whatever Rakesh just said, I just want to make it a little more fun.
Yeah.
There's only two variables there, fog and road.
Yes.
I want something more in it. That journey we talk about where it is a foggy road and we cannot see things ahead.
Yeah.
But if we don't ask a question, what is that? Why is that? It is going to be a fog. You ask a question, why is that? Then you take that step to go that 100 meters and see there's no fog ahead. Right, like that is the story, right? Like,
wow, it's crazy that it's fun that I'm having on this podcast. Yeah.
Hey, come on, I'm the most fun guy you came across in that Vietnam trip. Come on.
Wow. So Rupesh, it's too early to ask you, but I'll still ask this one question, which I ask to every of my guests. Maybe in a year or 2 year or 5 year or maybe 15 years, you are writing your autobiography, and so what title would you give to your autobiography?
I did it.
Great.
Yeah, that would be the title. And you know what the sentence would be? Like, see, my dream has always been to walk out of a Maybach and buy a Forbes magazine with my picture on it. That's how I say where I want to be after 10 years, So the first sentence of the day this happens, I'll start writing that book, and then it'll be like, I walked out of my Maybach, I bought a Forbes magazine with my picture on it, I did it. And that is how my book would start, if at all it would, on autobiography perspective.
Wow, that's great. And that's a big...
I think so. This might change.
Wow. And all the best from my side. And I will definitely want to read that autobiography. I did it.
How do I say this? I don't want to write it so early in my life.
Yes. Because you want to enjoy the journey also.
Yes. That is my piece to the world, like that's why we write things. Like whatever we've learned till date, whatever, it is just written by someone else. There's no set rule. Someone else wrote something which you find relates to you, and then that's how we base things on. We go back to 100 human lives living on Earth to that point. Like, if we go back to that point in the whole chaos of madness of our entire civilization, isn't it just this? If we think about it.
Yes, I got it. You got your point. And so from here, I was just thinking that I see a lot of young people from school, colleges, and when I interact with them, they're always low on confidence. And so how to build that confidence? Because I can see the confidence which you are having during our trip in Vietnam also, and right now also. At this age, you are having so much confidence. So what has gone into this confidence, and how people or students can build this confidence?
The reason I have this confidence, I'm even getting goosebumps while saying this. I want to give an example to 100 times I've been through those things, okay? If I'm scared to jump in a pool, I've been lucky enough someone to first push me in that pool for the first time. And that has happened 100 times over and over again for 100 different things. And that is what I base my confidence on. Like, it feels you're scared, but once you start doing it, it is quite easy. And then confidence is also a practice, like you gotta keep on thinking that's easy, while doing those things the way you do and actually finding those things easy. It builds on to it, like, I guess so.
Yeah, that's such an amazing answer to this confidence thing. And so guys, listeners, get someone who will push you into that pool again and again for 100 different things.
Yeah.
That's how you build your confidence, and build it like a muscle. Practice every day.
That is true.
Great. So Rupesh, that was my last question, and it's such an amazing time we had recording this podcast. So thank you for joining this podcast.
Pleasure is always mine, Rakeshji. Thank you so much for having me on. Pleasure is always mine.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Clarity with Rakesh. Please subscribe or follow this podcast on your preferred platform so that you don't miss any important episodes. Have clarity, listen clarity, and let's talk clarity. Let's talk clarity.